From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Cascade Paint & Supply is Reading's oldest family-owned paint store, established in 1953. We are the largest Dunn Edwards dealer in the nation, and most of our products are made in the U.S. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff are ready to answer your questions and help you today.
Good morning, everyone. I want to remind you that tomorrow is the first showing of the Cascade Christmas. This is a holiday tradition, I think, for many. And there are 6 shows this year, November 21st to the 23rd, and then another round of 3 shows on the 28th through the 30th. These tickets sell out fast, so it's important that you get your tickets now. Go to cascadetheater.org to start that family tradition. Let's take a look at the radar here, and I tell you what, that radar, it's showing some of the rain, but not all of it, and there's a reason for that. The radar site in Oroville, it's known as the Beale radar site, it's down. And so it's not really showing the rain that we're seeing here this morning, but most of the rain is basically from the valley eastward. We're also seeing some light showers out along the coast here, and that's going to be the trend this morning. But overall, we're not going to see much more rain on top of what we're seeing here last night and early this morning. You can see some of the rainfall totals, a little impressive out towards Reading, a little over 1/4 of an inch there, 1/2 an inch out in Hoopa, as well as Eureka and Crescent City, a little over 1/4 of an inch in Redway. Susanville, not bad, a little over 1/4 of an inch there, but not much out in Boerne, only about 1/100 of an inch of rainfall. So here's your headline. Showers this morning, wrapping up this afternoon. We're still going to see some isolated showers today, but the bulk of the rain has pretty much passed last night and early this morning. Drier and slightly warmer going into the weekend, mainly dry next week. Now, there is a little bit of a kink in there, if you will, with a few showers to the north as we go into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week. But it's just going to be clipping to our north. And the timing of that, the positioning of that's probably going to change. It's something worth watching. But bottom line, still on the cool side. Temperatures may climb to right around or just above normal for this time of the year, but not getting too terribly warm out there. Taking a look at your Krueger's Quickcast for your Thursday, November 20th. All right, so here's what we've got going on out the door this morning. Now, we've got some clouds, and there are going to be some scattered showers out there, not just for the coast and the eastern mountains, but I think Modoc County, the valley, everyone could see that slight chance for a stray shower here. And that's going to be the case here throughout the rest of the morning and this afternoon. But the main storm system itself is moving to the south and east, and we're going to start to see high pressure begin to build in here as we go into tomorrow and through the weekend. So taking a look at the HRRR forecast model, this is being a little bit more aggressive than our in-house forecast model. You can see by the time we get to 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, again, still a chance for a stray shower here and there along the coast, parts of the valley. Snow levels, by the way, about 4,500 feet, give or take. Now, we go into around midday, still some showers possibly near the coast, maybe some showers near the valley, and you can see even in the eastern mountains still seeing some potential as well. Now, what you'll notice here is as the storm system moves down to the south, the progression of the storms and the rain that is are going to start moving more down to the south-southwest. Now, the forecast models do want to bring in some of that, especially to the south around Chico, Oroville, Willows, possibly seeing some of these showers coming off of the foothills and the mountains, and then it's done with. We're looking at dry conditions after that. All right, so we can take a look at the rainfall estimates. You can see really where most of the rain is today, along the coast, which again isn't going to be a lot, and for the valley eastward. It doesn't look like there'll be much for western Siskiyou or Trinity County throughout the day today. Again, the morning, still some of that activity here. Now, there is some snow that we do have this morning that could create some chain requirements for some of the higher mountain passes east of I-5. Cedar Pass, Bogard Ranger Station, for example, there could potentially. So it's one of those, if you are traveling this morning, check the latest road conditions. There may be some snow on the roads and maybe even some chain requirements. But you'll notice, as we're expecting, things are really quieting down, and we're not going to see as much snow on the roads later this afternoon, tonight, or tomorrow. All right, so for today, here's what you've got. We'll call it partly to mostly cloudy skies. There'll be a mix of sun, some clouds, and a stray shower from time to time. And most of it will be to the valley eastward and then along the coast as mentioned. Now, I've got the wording AM in there because I think that's the best chance for showers in the valley, but really it should be just isolated showers throughout the day. And then on Friday, you're dry. You're dry through the weekend and dry through at least the middle, if not through all of next week. A little bit of a different story for the coast. You could see another round of some showers. There's basically a system clipping Northern California by around Tuesday, Wednesday. Just these off and on systems pushing through the Pacific Northwest. They may clip extreme Northern California. This could impact parts of the coast, Siskiyou and even Modoc counties here for next week. But bottom line, this is one of those stay tuned type of forecasts if you have plans next week. But even if we do see any of those showers, it doesn't look to be all that significant. All right, that's a look at your Krueger's Quickcast. Let's go and take a look at our deeper dive forecast sponsored by Shasta Hearing Aids.
Frank, come help with the dishes.
What?
The dishes!
I heard it the first time. I just got back from Shasta Hearing Aids, but she doesn't know it yet. What?
Forget it.
So we do have that storm system that was passing through last night and this morning. It's turned over into what we just call a trough right here. Now behind it, we've got this cool and unstable air. This is going to keep things a bit unsettled for today. So again, the main band of rain pushed through last night and early this morning. You probably noticed it. Maybe it woke you up last night, early this morning. That is moving on out of here. Now what we're going to be left with here is some isolated showers throughout the day. And I think that's the chance for everyone. But when we take a look at futurecasts, we'll kind of show you where most of that will be. In fact, you can see here this morning, there's some of the scattered showers. Now, again, take note, Trinity County and western Siskiyou County. You're really not going to see much after this morning. So you can see by midday, we're seeing a few snow flurries, say above 4,500 feet or so, but nothing major. The valley, still some clouds, still some breaks in the clouds in there as well, and maybe an isolated sprinkle or a light shower. That's the case for the coast and maybe even western Siskiyou County. All right, then we go into about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You see how we're seeing a stray shower here and there, the valley clearing out. But what's happening now is the whole system itself is shifting to the south. So what we're going to start to see is all of this moving in this direction from northeast down to the south and west. So what I'm seeing here is some showers developing east of the valley, and some of those could work their way into parts of, say, Chico, Willows, Oroville late this afternoon, early this evening. At this point, I wouldn't anticipate it to be much, but don't be surprised if you're out and about in Butte County, Glenn County, for example, and maybe a stray shower there, especially eastern Glenn County around I-5. Now, as we go into the eastern mountains, there still is that slight potential for a stray shower as we go into the evening and some snow flurries, but otherwise, we're going to start to dry things out for tonight. And tomorrow, look at that. You've got mainly clear skies. Now keep in mind, with the saturated ground, there could be some fog, not only for the mountain valleys, but maybe even for parts of the Sacramento Valley as well. Then we go into your Saturday. There you can see the dry conditions continue. Some clouds beginning to move in, and you'll notice here's the first system that may just clip Northern California as we go into your Sunday night and into Monday. You see that? Maybe a stray shower for parts of the North Coast, Siskiyou County, and maybe even Modoc County. But at this point, I'm keeping it fairly dry through the weekend. Here's your rainfall outlook, at least for today. And I wanted to show you where most of it will be, especially east of the valley. You can kind of see these darker greens. That's about 1/10 of an inch of rainfall. That's about 1/4 of an inch of rainfall. So for the North Coast, same situation here. Really anywhere from, say, 1/100th to about 1/10 of an inch of rain, and just not much going on in between that as you go to western Siskiyou or Trinity County. But again, keep in mind, as you saw there on Futurecast, there could be a stray shower throughout the afternoon today. Again, we're going to show you those road conditions. You can see Cedar Pass and some of the eastern mountains, but already by midday, conditions do look to improve. There may be a little bit of snow on top of that this afternoon and evening, but really it's to the south over the Sierra that we have to watch here, especially if you're heading out to Lake Tahoe. Actually, conditions expect to get maybe a little bit worse. Now, this is nothing major, but you can see here by midday as you're heading up Highway 88, maybe on Highway 50, there may be some snow there. And then late tonight, early tomorrow morning, you can still see some snow potentially working its way up in some of those highest mountain passes here. Highway 50, maybe not so much on Interstate 80, but 88 on Highway 4, yeah, there is that potential. Again, especially as you go into those higher elevations. It's not a ton of snow, but looks pretty good. I mean, those highest elevations, you know, above 7,000 feet, you're looking at upwards of 6 to 12 inches of snow. That's certainly a very good possibility. All right, so let's take a look at next week. Now, this particular forecast model, the GFS, is not as aggressive with next week's systems clipping the Pacific Northwest, but I'd say around Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we've got these types of systems that could just clip Northern California, giving places like the North Coast, Siskiyou and Modoc County, a slight chance for showers. Then on Friday, some of the models indicating that toward the end of next week, we could see another sizable storm. It doesn't look to be too terribly strong at this point. Now keep in mind, we're looking at a week from tomorrow. This will most likely change the timing, the overall intensity, but I just wanted to show you this is on our radar, and it's something that we're watching here towards the end of next week, which again could impact some of your holiday travel, especially if you're, say, the day after Thanksgiving, right? So here's what it looks like precipitation-wise, though, right? Mainly drier than normal conditions over Northern California. So once we get past today, it's just not going to be very wet out there. And really not too terribly warm either. Although the normal high for this time of the year is about 63 degrees, and we will be right around that. You can see a few spikes here and there as we go into Friday, Saturday, and even into next Thursday. But for the most part, we're going to average out in the mid-60s for Redding, really for the next 7 to 10 days. We take a look at the lake levels. Yes. Look at the positive numbers. Yes, these lake levels are climbing. That's actually 0.25, by the way, but you get the idea. It's looking really good, and as we would expect, we are above normal or above 100% for that historical average. Wave height's still a little bit high this morning in particular, but they should start to drop as we do go through this afternoon and your Friday. But with that said, there is a small craft advisory with your marine forecast and your winds from the southeast at about 5 to 10 knots. All right, here is your neighborhood forecast, sponsored in part by Dignity Health. We're going to be looking at those temperatures in the low to mid 50s for Trinity County. An isolated shower this afternoon, not only for Trinity County, but for pretty much everyone. You're talking 54 degrees for Blue Lake, 57 degrees out in Honeydew, 54 in Orleans, 55 degrees for Gasquet, Smith River about 56 degrees. For Siskiyou County, a stray shower here and there this afternoon. There you can see temperatures will be in the mid 40s. Modoc County, I think most of what you see will be this morning. Chances will diminish as we do go through the afternoon. But snow levels, El Turris, if you see some snow, I wouldn't be surprised, down to about 4,000 feet or so, but Cedar Pass, yeah, most likely seeing that snow. 40 degrees in Westwood, 50 out in Paradise. We take you down to the south end of the valley with 57 degrees out towards Hamilton City, as well as Corning and Pasquinta, Willows as well. There's your 7-day forecast for Chico. Again, mainly this morning, but there could be an isolated shower even this afternoon. And then you can see for Friday through the weekend, low to mid 60s, and then low 60s for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and still dry. All right, there you can see about 60 degrees in Anderson, 58 degrees for Cottonwood, 60 in Palo Cedro, and 55 for Lakehead. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast for Redding. Those temperatures are going to be in the mid-60s for Friday, upper 60s by Saturday, dry with temperatures low to mid-60s for Sunday through Wednesday of next week. All right, that's your morning update. I'll be back again at noon for your latest forecast. Have a great morning.
Barr & Mudford is a top established firm here in the North State. Founded over a half-century ago, Barr & Mudford is protecting the rights of our neighbors and community. We take our commitment to our clients very seriously and provide a level of excellence unrivaled in the North State. Barr & Mudford, standing up for the rights of our neighbors and our beautiful community, serving Northern California with excellence.